Children of famous celebrities tend to inherit a lot from them. Aside from a lavish lifestyle and a possible fortune, some of these kids inherited genes that make them nearly identical to their parents.
Did I get confused?
You got a little confused.
Angelina Jolie and Shiloh Jolie-Pitt. We've all seen Angelina look effortlessly stunning on a red carpet, but that doesn't mean fans didn't do a double take when her daughter Shiloh showed up to the Eternals premiere looking like the spitting image of her mother. Though Shiloh is only 15, the resemblance is pretty uncanny, and seeing as how Angelina looked very similar at 15 herself, we can assume that the apple won't fall too far from the tree. Reese Witherspoon and Ava Elizabeth Phillippe. We're just going to say it. Reese and Ava could be identical twins. If you saw Ava in person, it'd be easy to fangirl over her and praise her for her iconic roles in Legally Blonde and Little Fires Everywhere. But of course, you'd be confusing her with her mother Reese. And who wouldn't? They could easily be sisters. When you look at both of them at age 18, you can rarely see any differences. There's strong genes, and then there's whatever magic Reese has to be able to give birth to someone that looks that identical to her. Gigi and Yolanda Hadid. Like mother, like daughter would probably be an understatement here. Aside from sharing her mother Yolanda's and her sister Bella's love for modeling, Gigi also inherited her good looks from the former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star herself. When Gigi and Yolanda were in their teens and early 20s, the two looked just alike. And you can really see this in this #TBT photo Yolanda posted of herself from a photo shoot in the 80s. Kaia Gerber and Cindy Crawford. While some of us look back at our high school yearbook photos and cringe, others look back at their photos fondly. But there are very few of us who can compare our yearbook photos to Cindy and Kaia's. Not only are the two ridiculously stunning, seriously, it's almost suspicious, but the mother-daughter duo look more like twins. In a 2017 Instagram post, Cindy shared a photo of her daughter Kaia's high school yearbook photo from when she was 16. Next to it was a photo of Cindy herself at the same age, and the two are the literal definition of the word twinning. Kendall and Kris Jenner. While it's true that Rob and all of the Kardashian-Jenner sisters take after their parent, Kendall shares a close resemblance with her mother Kris. Fans who watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians have already seen Kendall's introduction to modeling, but Kris did her fair share of modeling once upon a time too. You can see the resemblance in the series of photos that Kendall shared in a birthday post to her mother. The photos of Kris modeling in her 20s look similar to Kendall at the same age, and you can clearly see where she gets it from. Selena Gomez and Mandy Teefey. While Reese Witherspoon may take the cake for mother-daughter twinning moments, Selena and her mother Mandy seem to be right up there with her. In November 2014, Selena posted a side-by-side photo of the two of them posing the same way for a picture. Her mom was around the same age as Selena in the photo, but honestly, you'd think it was an old picture of Selena because the two look that much alike. She accurately captioned the photo, "Work mama, #GetItFromMyMama." Gwyneth Paltrow and Blythe Danner. Sometimes there are unintentional celebrity mother-daughter twinning moments that not only shock us, but also the celebs who are doing the twinning. And that was the case for Gwyneth in 2015 when she posted a photo of her mother when she was in her 20s in an old Columbo episode. And she was just as shocked as we were to see the resemblance, captioning the photo, "Okay, this is weird. #Is that me or my mom?" Agreed. Zoe Kravitz and Lisa Bonet. We've seen the resemblance between Zoe and her mother Lisa for a while now, and it's been evident in their many pictures together. But it became all too clear when viewers saw the 2020 Hulu series rendition of High Fidelity, especially since her mother starred in the original version of the film over 20 years ago. It's one thing to share similar features, but these two could quite literally be the same stunning person. Uma Thurman and Maya Hawke. You could look at any photo of Uma and Maya together, or separately, and see the uncanny resemblance between the two. But for anyone that needed any type of proof that these two look identical, there are a variety of throwback photos posted by Uma on Instagram where she looks exactly like her daughter. Aside from her great looks, Maya also followed in her mother's footsteps in her career with quite the extensively growing resume. Willow Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. Willow and Jada share a ton of characteristics, and you can easily see this in conversations they have on their Facebook watch show, Red Table Talk. But while there are many ways Willow takes after her father, Will Smith, she's easily identical to her mother. But just in case you were wondering how identical she really is, this throwback photo from Jada's Instagram in November of 2020 speaks volumes. It's clear that when Jada was Willow's age, she was the spitting image of her daughter. Tom Hanks and Colin Hanks. There may be a few differences here, but you don't need to look closely to see the resemblance between Colin and Tom. Honestly, if you really wanted to see just how much these two look alike, you could just casually browse through Tom's Instagram page or, watch Forrest Gump. However, Colin's made it well aware that he knows how much he resembles his dad, as fans apparently tell him this all the time. Like, he literally shared screenshots of it, and it's actually pretty hilarious. Meryl Streep and Mamie Gummer. You may not be able to tell the relation by name alone, but if you were to catch a glimpse of them together, you'd easily be able to tell just how identical Mamie is to her mother Meryl. Mamie's blonde hair and gorgeous high cheekbones tend to give her away, but she looks just like Meryl did at her age. But she inherited more than her mother's features. She also shares her mother's love of performance and has held down a successful acting career the same way her mother has. Melanie Griffith and Dakota Johnson. Dakota comes from a long line of Hollywood actors. Her mother, Melanie, is known for her roles in Working Girl and Lolita, among other projects, and her grandmother is none other than Tippi Hedren, who starred in 2 of Alfred Hitchcock's classic films. Needless to say, Dakota jumped on the bandwagon and claimed a few notable roles for herself. But she's also claimed her mother's features, as the two look just alike. In a post from August of 2020, Melanie posted a series of photos of all 3 generations of the women in their family, and you can see the resemblance instantly. Goldie Hawn and Kate Hudson. From the hair to the blue eyes, Kate could easily pass for Goldie's sister instead of her daughter. When Goldie was early in her career, she looked similar to Kate at the same age. But as you can probably guess by this point in the video, it's often not just the good looks that get passed down from mother to daughter. Goldie has had an acting career that spanned over 50 years, which is already an incredible feat itself, and Kate seems to be following her lead. But she also manages to do so looking like her mother's identical twin. Rashida Jones and Peggy Lipton. Rashida's resemblance to her late mother and actress Peggy was undeniable. Photos of the two of them together already confirmed this, but if you take a look back at Peggy's work from earlier in her career, you'd swear you were looking at Rashida herself. Known for her roles in The Mod Squad and Twin Peaks, Peggy obviously shares more than stunning features with a daughter who's already made a respectable name for herself in Hollywood as well. Demi Moore and Rumor Willis. We know that we've been insisting that so many celebs look just like their children, and there's a reason for that. Exhibit A is this photo posted by Demi's daughter, Rumor, in May of 2015. We'll wait while you try to find any differences between these women in the picture, but with matching genetic DNA and matching outfits, it's pretty hard to do. Not to mention that Demi looked identical to her daughter in her 20s, especially when looking at a throwback photo Demi posted in July of 2021. It's almost like looking at the same person. Will and Jaden Smith. Can we just take a moment to acknowledge the fact that nearly everyone in this stunning family not only closely resembles each other, but are also insanely talented? Like, every one of them. But with that out of the way, Will and Jaden share physical traits that come more to light when looking at old photos of Will. Though Willow looks like her father, he and Jaden could, at the very least, look like brothers. But like we mentioned, there's a clear family resemblance, and Jaden even shares it with his mother, Jada, and we're all here for it. Tina and Solange Knowles. If there's one thing that we know about Beyoncé and Solange's mother, Tina, aside from the fact that she's given birth to 2 of the most talented women in music, it's that she's jaw-droppingly beautiful. And has been for some time, just like her children. And in July of 2019, she shared a photo of herself when she was 15, and fans were shocked, because at first glance, it seemed like you were looking at an old photo of Solange herself. Madonna and Lourdes Leone. We'd be lying if we said that Madonna's daughter Lourdes doesn't look like her mother, but in typical Madonna fashion, she proved that to be true when she posted a photo to her Instagram of herself next to a Photoshop insert of her daughter. Honestly, they both look amazing. Madonna looks great to this day, but when she was closer to Lourdes' age, they looked almost identical. Aside from her looks, Lourdes also inherited her mom's free spirit and authenticity. Arnold and Patrick Schwarzenegger. While it may be pretty cool to have the Terminator as your dad, as we've learned from Colin Hanks, it probably also means that a lot of people will remind you how much you look like your father. But because of how identical the resemblance is, here we are. When Arnold was Patrick's age, he looked just like his son. But of course, just like his father, Patrick also prioritizes both his health and his acting career. Which twinning moment were you least expecting? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to The Thing Celebrity to see more about your favorite Hollywood stars.